guys, welcome to TST Garage. I'm Bart, and today in this video I'll be showing you how to install the TST Industries brake light modulator on your bike. Now, a brake light modulator, sometimes called a strobe, sometimes called a brake light flasher, what it does is basically enables you to install some electronics on your bike so that when you press your brakes, the brake light flashes in some kind of pattern and alerts the drivers behind you that you will be stopping. Our particular brake light modulator comes pre-wired to a plug that interfaces with a sub harness that we provide specific to your bike model that enables plug and play functionality with your bike. So that means that the installation is really fast and you can do it yourself. Now, the electronics inside, we do have the ability for you to program this unit to 3 different functions and then subsequently adjust the rate of the effect to your liking. Our first programmable mode is strobe alert. This mode will produce 9 flashes and then stay solid for the duration of the brake engagement. Second one is intermittent pulsar. Each cycle will flash 10 times and then pause, and then these cycles will repeat for the duration of the brake engagement. The last available option is pulsar, and this one just basically provides continuous flashing for the duration of the brake engagement. Now we'll show you how to install this. It's really simple, and then after the installation chunk, I will show you in detail how to get inside here, how to program the different modes, and how to alter the rate of those different modes. We did think about the safety of such devices during the design phase, so we decided to design this in a way that it will be a pass-through component. In case you experience a failure on board here, it will just pass through your normal brake function, which means you press your brake light lights up, there's just no effect. In case you do experience that failure, we do offer a warranty, so we have guys standing by in our support department that will take your call, email, Facebook message, whatever, and we'll get you replaced. And that's pretty much it. Now, I'm really excited to show you guys just how easy this is to put on and configure. So let's get started. Okay, the modulator comes with a specific harness that is plug and play with your bike. We will need to get the 4-position plug mated on both of these units together, make sure they click, and now it'll be ready to get on the bike. The plug for the tail light is on the right side of the bike, just behind this signal, behind this shroud. To get in there, we'll need to take off the seats and this panel. So to do that, we'll first remove passenger seat. Then this accent panel needs to come out. We disengage this forward tab first from underneath the forward tank shroud. And there are mushroom type hook fasteners under there, along with a friction fastener. You pry them out perpendicular to the center plane of the bike, and that just pops off. Then we'll use a 5mm Allen to remove the screw that holds the seat on. After this step, I will repeat these 2 steps on the other side of the bike. Now the driver's seat can be lifted off. We will now remove this fastener with a Phillips head screwdriver, and this fastener back here with a 4mm Allen. At this point, we can pop in the centers of 4 of these rivet type fasteners. 2 are up on top and 2 down below. I like to then remove the lower ones, with the top ones remaining in place. Then we go up top and support the fairing while we've removed the last 2 fasteners holding it on. And this will now slip out. Just be careful not to damage any of these tabs. The forward section of this panel here has a friction fastener that needs to be pushed out perpendicular to the center plane of the bike. And the last thing here is to withdraw the signal plug, put this panel to the side, and now we need to identify the appropriate plug for the taillight. Here it is, just inside to the front of the taillight. It does have a locking feature that needs to be pressed so that we can pull it out. There's actually not a lot of slack in here, so it can be a little cumbersome. All right, now we will grab our pre-assembled sub-harness and brake light modulator here and just plug the plugs together. Make sure the connectors click. They are keyed in a way that they only fit one way. Before I get too far, I'd like to test this. Make sure I have my function. And in fact, it is operating properly. So we can go to the next step, which is cable management. I like to get all these connectors far in there, making sure that I don't make a lot of bulk in this area because the signal rests against this area here. I think we have just enough room to get our connector here between the subframe and the undertail, and then fold this housing of our modulator over, making sure the grommet is pointed slightly down. This prevents water from entering the capsule. We do have a grommet on there, but it's always best practice to have the grommet pointed down. I'll use the cable tie to get my housing cinched down to this harness. And our housing here actually has this channel that has been designed into the housing to fit a wire tie. I will use my second wire tie through another component here, sort of a little bit arbitrary. The only thing I'm trying to do here is to ensure that the grommet is in fact pointing down a little bit. We have a rough 25-degree angle with the ground. Everything seems nice and tight here. I can cut off the excess. And now I will proceed with the reassembly of all the components in the reverse order of disassembly. And that's it. This installation is complete, and the bike is ready to go. For mode selection and rate adjustment, we will need to get inside this capsule to access the electronics. These two Phillips head screws will need to be removed. What I like to do is unscrew them until they disengage from the receiving threads and leave them in the cap. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to lose them. If we pull them off with the cap, they are self-captive. All right, now we'll identify the parts here. This button is the mode selector, and this potentiometer is your rate adjuster. Clockwise is faster, counterclockwise is slower. Let's first do our selection of modes. With the brake pressed, press the button once to toggle to the next available program. Now the brake does have to be pressed so that the unit powers up, otherwise you won't be able to make the selection. If you find that you've pressed the button but the selection has not been changed, just do it again with the brake pressed. So now we will go on to the next program, press the brake once more, press the button once, and now you're in the next mode. Now we've switched twice, so pressing it one more time will return to the original mode that your unit arrived in. Now for rate adjustment, we'll be using the potentiometer. With the brake pressed, we can turn it clockwise to make it go faster, counterclockwise to decrease the rate. Now in brake alert, you will only have 9 flashes to make your adjustment, and then it'll stay solid. This one doesn't actually lend itself to really fast flashing at the top of the range. Bottom of the range is unusable, so I like to set it somewhere towards 3/4 to maybe 80% clockwise, and that does it for me. Now if we change to the next one, this one is pulsar, and this one just keeps on flashing, so I like to have it going pretty fast here. Choice is really up to you. If you want to explore the next mode, we have the intermittent pulsar. This one to me belongs somewhere close to the top of the range, makes it the most visible. But again, freedom means choice. The decision is ultimately up to you. Once you're done with your adjustment and you're where you want to be with all your modes and rates, replace the cap, turn the screws back in, and it really is just that simple. Replace your brake light modulator in the space that you decided to keep it, and you're good to go.